For most people, the Mercedes-Benz S-Class is the pinnacle of luxury. It is the kind of car that classily whispers wealth instead of flaunting it. It's a boardroom on wheels, something that cocoons its passengers in absolute luxury. And yet there are people who believe that the S-Class is simply not enough. And for those people, there is the Mercedes-Maybach. And for those who think that even the Maybach is not enough, or it's a little too understated, there is this, the S-Maybach Night Series. Take a look.
It takes the standard S580 and makes all the chrome vanish, replacing it with dark, moody accents.
This is the kind of car that says, I make my money silently, but I spend it loudly. This is Maybach's version of stealth wealth, though there is nothing particularly stealthy about it.
If the standard Maybach is a 7-star hotel on wheels, the Night Series is a VIP penthouse with a private elevator. Now you might assume that something called Night Series only comes alive after sunset. But no, this car shines even in broad daylight. And not just because of the dual-tone paint or the rose gold accents in the headlights. The dark chrome detailing, the intricate Maybach patterned wheels, and the sheer presence of this limousine ensure that it commands attention regardless of the time of day. Unlike the standard Maybachs, which dazzle with bright chrome, the Night Series does it with shadowy sophistication. The Night Series treatment strips the usual bright chrome from the grille, window surrounds, and even the Maybach badges, replacing them with dark chrome that gives the car an air of quiet menace. Even the Maybach emblem on the C-pillar gets a darker treatment, just in case you thought this was some regular S-Class. But the real piece de resistance, the wheels. They are not just luxury alloys, they are rolling works of art.
The intricate Maybach logo is peppered all across the wheel to form this mesh pattern. It's the kind of work that you expect from the artisans of the Taj Mahal. If they were, of course, into automobiles instead of architecture. I think it looks stunning. It screams craftsmanship. But at the same time, it's very prone to getting scuffed quite easily. So it demands glass smooth roads. So this Maybach isn't for the construction barons, unless of course their next big project is resurfacing all the roads that lead to their mansion.
And then there's the headlights, subtle rose gold detailing woven into the clusters, because Maybach believes even functional elements should exude opulence. If ever a car was designed to glow with understated luxury, this is it.
I don't need to remind you, a Maybach is not something that you see often. A Maybach Night Edition, rarer still. But what is even rarer is this. It's a V12 under the hood. Yup, even in today's times, the V12 lives on. Not something that you hear often. And yes, it's running. And yes, it does come from AMG. But the S580 is already a very powerful car with its 500 horsepower V8. This V12 with those 4 extra cylinders puts out about 100 horsepower more, so that's over 600 PS of power. More importantly, 900 Newton meters of torque. Not like you will notice a difference between the already quick S500 and the even quicker S680, but for a car that weighs almost as a rich man's apartment in Mumbai, it's pretty quick. It decimates the 0 to 100 kmph run in 4.5 seconds. That's very, very quick. And the in-gear acceleration, even quicker. Check that out. This is unbelievable. I mean, a stretch limo, a chauffeur-driven stretch limo, and it goes like stink. It's unbelievably good. A car of this size that can make some sports cars look silly.
And yet, you will hear none of it. The Night Series isn't about drama. It's about wafting from A to B in mere silence.
The cabin is so well insulated that even your thoughts feel muted. In fact, the only time you'll hear the engine, that beautiful, creamy, soft V12 burble, is when you actually go pedal to the metal. It doesn't roar and growl like an AMG would. There's a subdued confidence to it. Something like the punchline from Godfather. If you know, you know.
The Airmatic suspension with adaptive dampers tries to ensure that no road imperfection is ever transmitted to the cabin.
But potholes, rutted roads, imperfections, joints, you got to be careful of that because those low-profile tires can be hard.
On good roads though, the ride is so smooth that you will question whether your car is even touching the ground.
But don't mistake this Maybach to be a car that is only supposed to be driven in. The performance figures will definitely want you to get behind the wheel, and at the same time, it's quite practical too. You can raise the car, and then there is the rear wheel steering as well, which makes sure that this really long limousine can take compact roads, narrow lanes, tight parking spots with absolute ease, sometimes even easier than commuter sedans. So when you decide to get behind the wheel, it almost feels easy to drive. Almost. Because you've still got to be careful of all the expensive bits on the car.
The moment you step inside, you realize this isn't any regular car. It's quite an experience. The rear seats recline further than an airline's first-class pod. The footrests extend, and the Napa leather and the wood trim remind you that you made it big in life. And as if that wasn't enough, the pillows on the headrests, even for your chauffeur, confirm it.
The boss seats, both of them, get the screens. You also get a third screen to control most of the functionality around. You get switches in the roof to close the door so that you don't have to reach out for them. And speaking of reaching out, you don't even have to reach out for the seat belt because, well, there is a seat belt butler for it. It will fetch the seat belt for you. And the seat belt itself, it comes with its own airbag. How cool is that? And well, you've already heard of massage seats in cars like these, but here it goes a step further with massage for your calves as well. Because, you know, in cars like these, it's not only about comfort, it's about excess. And you also get a tailor-made ambient lighting package for the night series. So you not only have a different design, you also get 256 colors to choose from, because choosing from a palette of 64 colors is simply too commonplace.
The Night series also introduces exclusive interior trim options like the herringbone carbon fiber inserts with rose gold accents, because regular carbon fiber is simply too mainstream. The Burmester 4D surround sound system turns the car into a concert hall, making sure you feel the bass in your seat.
And not just that, you also get this refrigerator for your champagne bottles. And you can also specify silver-plated bespoke champagne flutes, which can very classily, very nicely go in here so that you can enjoy your bubbly on the move from those beautiful flutes, because having them in anything else simply feel uncivilized.
The Maybach S680 Night series is what happens when subtle luxury meets quiet menace.
It's for the kind of person who appreciates the finer things in life but prefers them in monochrome. This is the kind of car that moves with the elegance of a super luxury saloon, but with the urgency of a V8 powered AMG.
And for those who feel that a standard Maybach S-Class is too polite, the Night series adds just the right amount of edge. It's still incredibly refined, still unbelievably comfortable, but with a darker, more imposing personality.
Just don't be surprised if the valet decides to park it front and center, because even in the dark, the Night series refuses to go unnoticed.